Welcome back, everyone, to Let's Play Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons. And, I should really work on a better intro, shouldn't I? Anyway, previously, we entered this unusual land of Holodrum, met with a dancer who turned out to be the eponymous Oracle, only to see her whisked away by some unknown evil force known as General Onox, who sealed her powers away, throwing this realm's seasons into chaos for some unknown yet very surely evil purpose. So now we need to seek an audience with the Maku Tree, guardian of this land of Holodrum. But to do that, we need some kind of proof of courage. And wouldn't you know it, just west of town, there's a hero's cave with a sword in it. That should suffice, shouldn't it? And so, now we head out of town. Here we have the western coast, and yes, it's back to winter. As you see, there's piles of snow here, a giant snowdrift up there, and an Octorok, a staple of the Zelda series. They're mostly harmless. They just kind of wander around and occasionally spit rocks at you. Sign over here. Yes, that's her own village to the right. Hero's Cave. Well, it's not exactly west. We have more piles of snow here. We round around south down here. This cave got something interesting. Hello, Great Fairy. So, even though you have no real way of getting recovery hearts yet, since you don't have a weapon to obtain them with by defeating enemies or cutting bushes, you can still heal all of your health if necessary. Off to the east here. Trying not to say right because this is technically top-down, so it's more cardinal directions. I'm gonna wait for this Octorok to give us a chance here. That was a cheap shot. Oh well, just sneak by these two. Easier said than done. There we go. Down here, nothing really of note. Sidestepper crabs. I'm pretty sure they're a nod to the sidesteppers in the classic Mario Brothers arcade, etc., etc. But here we have the Hero's Cave. Something you might notice from the get-go is that these rooms are much, much bigger than they were in Link's Awakening. Mind the keys, by the way. These little bats just kind of fly around. They're mostly harmless as well, as long as you stay clear of them. The Oracle Zeldas, their dungeons, the rooms are much, much bigger than in Link's Awakening, where the rooms in Link's Awakening could fit on a screen without having to scroll at all. In the Oracle games, you can only see roughly half of a dungeon room at any given time. It lets them do much more with the space. And just in general, look at me, going through exposition without mentioning that I pushed a couple blocks to do various things already. Note that some blocks can only be pushed in specific directions. That will depend on the block in question. Push this one south, this one east. Nothing too hard just yet. It is an intro mini dungeon. And so they're able to do much more with these rooms and give you much more dynamic obstacles to go through. And since the dungeons are very well designed in general, you never really miss out on the fact or have any trouble with the fact that you cannot see the entire room at once. Meanwhile, we have these red gels here. If they catch onto you, they don't actually deal damage. They merely slow you down until they hop off harmlessly a bit later. That switch you saw me press there made this chest appear, and inside is a small key. We can use it to open a locked door or block in this dungeon. Has another classic aspect of Zelda games, finding keys to open doors. I know, very, that's rather conventional, isn't it? So, as we head back here, the music in the background is rather simplistic. It's, don't worry, it's not an indication of the music you're going to hear elsewhere in this game. The music is generally very good for an 8-bit system, and pretty catchy in general. It's just, this is rather, simplistic for, a simple dungeon. And by the way, if you press select while you're in a dungeon, you'll get a different map view. You get a view of the dungeon itself. As you can see here, you get a glimpse of the floor you're currently on. Yes, unlike most dungeons in Link's Awakening, quite a few dungeons in the Oracle games do have multiple floors, and they are designed around this fact. So you can have basically full-size, you got dungeons with multiple full-size floors, unlike, say, the Key Cavern or Eagle's Tower in Link's Awakening. Makes for, they're able to do much, much more within the dungeons themselves. And so you can see what rooms open up into what other rooms. You can see what items within the dungeon you've picked up. Here you can see we have a key. Now we head south. There's not a whole lot we can do here except dodge these keys, but there's a locked door that we can now open. Just a little further here. Press this switch to open the door. Got some gels to dodge. Mind that pit, of course. If you fall in, you're going to lose half a heart and get dropped right back off at where you entered the room. Those green enemies are Zols, a stronger gel. And in fact, there are some Zol subspecies that will split into 2 gels when you kill them, but not these. And unlike the gels, these will harm you if they touch you, so careful. But after just such a short time and only 7 rooms, here we have a very, very ornately designed room with a chest, and inside, a wooded sword. There we go. Hold A to B, power it up, then release it for a spin attack. Yes, the spin attack is in fact back. And through, I'm not entirely sure how that works because this sword ain't exactly magical at all, but we're back outside. But we're not done with the Hero's Cave just yet. Take that, Octorox. Haha. You see, there is a little more we can do here now that we have a weapon to defend ourselves with. There's a recovery heart, that's very useful. We can cut this bush, jump down into this well here, to land up here for a chest that contains 30 rupees. That's nice indeed. Rupees are the currency of Holodrum, as they are in Hyrule, fortunately. So you'll be doing a whole lot of different things with them. I know that's rather obvious, but hey, I gotta be thorough here. And so now you want to go into this southwestern room, kill the keys within, nab that single green rupee. Because if you push this northwestern block here, you'll reveal a staircase. Down here is a gacha seed, yeah. And just every little nook and cranny in this game, you'll find some secrets. You always want to be on the lookout because you never know what you might find. But that's more or less all we had to do here in the Hero's Cave. So now we can take our leave. After we take care of these keys. Got them all bunched up in the corner here. There's 5 rupees, even though it's colored red instead of blue for reasons I'm not entirely sure of. And we're back out in the overworld. And so now we have exactly what we needed to open that gate to get to the Maku Tree. And so, I'll, see you guys back there, I suppose. Alright. And so now, with the season changed to summer, yes, it does cycle. Well, that doesn't exactly cycle, it just picks a random one every time you enter the village. Maku Tree Gate. Show courage to gain passage. Well, we just proved our courage, although it was honestly not that hard. And so we slash the gate, and the way is open. And here we have the Maku Tree. Yeah, he's, asleep. But we can do something about that. Who's that? Did you wake me? Who are you? What? Din was taken while I slept? There's no sign of the Temple of Seasons? This is awful! Guarding the Oracle is my duty. Alas, how I've withered. What's to be done, Link? The seasons and chaos, the land is robbed of the very essence of nature, draining all of my might. Can you save Din in my stead? It is all this Maku Tree has ever asked. I sense evil on the northern peak, for the Temple of Seasons rested. Onox has cast a shadow on the northern peak. I think you'll find him there. You'll need the 8 essences of nature that lies sleeping in Holodrum. Gathering all 8 is the only option. The essences possess the sacred power of nature, with which you can break the shadow barrier and save Din. Shall I repeat it? No need to, Maku Tree. Yeah, I know, it's kind of cliche, but it wouldn't be a Zelda game with having to delve into more dungeons to find some important MacGuffins that we need to, finally set things right. Then I give you this key. Go to the giant root near the lake up north. The first essence should be there, but I'd expect some resistance. Be careful. I'll just rest until... no energy. Yeah, unfortunately the Maku Tree can't really help us much more than telling us where to go next, because he's become a bit of a narcoleptic with the essences of nature unavailable to him. But at least we have the gnarled key now. And so, let's do a little exploring. Actually, before we do some exploring, we do want to stop off at one place in town first. You see, we have some rupees now. And now that we have things to spend, let's take care of these. Oh, and in addition, you will find that some of the NPCs in the village can move in various places and will say different things depending on things going on. Remember, this lady here was near the village entrance earlier, but now she's here. Lands outside the village are filled with monsters. I'm too scared to go out alone. Yeah, well, it is dangerous to go alone. But we want to check out the shop here, because now we have some money to spend, and wouldn't you know it, the shop is open now. So all we need to do is pick up an item and bring it to him to purchase. Interestingly enough, if you try to leave, he doesn't let you. Those of you who've played Link's Awakening might remember how you could actually trick the shopkeeper in that game into looking the other way while you left with an item, but it would mark you as a thief, literally, on your save file, and he'd pull out some lightning magic out of who knows where and kill you the next time you enter the shop. That ain't happening here. He just refuses to let you leave, but it's not that much of a problem since nothing here is really all that expensive. What we want here is this wooden shield, and wouldn't you know it, we got just enough rupees in the hero's cave to buy it. And so now we're decked out like a proper hero, sword and shield. And, well, we don't need any of these other things just yet. I know, cracked walls, but don't worry, we will be finding some bombs later on. So this wooden shield, we can press A, since that's the current button it's equipped on, and we can stick it in front of us. That will block any weaker projectiles that might potentially get in your way. So, rocks, spears, etc. Nothing too crazy, no fireballs. But it will keep you from taking damage occasionally, should you think to use it. And it's a very nice ensemble, this sword and shield, and it's actually really cool how no matter what direction Link is facing, he does hold the shield on his right arm. So yes, Link is generally a lefty. This incarnation of Link is a lefty. And it actually shows it because no matter what direction he's facing, he actually holds his shield in his right hand. It defies the whole ambidextrous sprite thing you usually see in these types of games. Although it kind of the same doesn't follow with a sword. If you slash north or south, it will follow as if you were swinging with his left hand. If you slash to the west, same thing. But if you face east and slash, yeah. Unfortunately, that does give you a blind spot to your immediate southeast, so you want to keep that in mind. Kind of a shame, but it is what it is, I suppose. And so now, we need to head north of town. You notice that Blast Bloom isn't blooming. It's petrified, I guess it is, and so we can't use it. That will come in handy. Well, that will become important later on. So, back to North Horon. We can cut this grass now. We've seen nothing but, I believe, nothing but recovery hearts out of this so far. That's unusual. You can't get green rupees. What does Impa have to say? A gnarled root? Go straight from here. I'm sure I saw one there. Go with caution, of course. But with a sword and shield to defend ourselves with, it'll be that much easier. And now we can cut these bushes. Remember, can't block fireballs with a wooden shield, so we gotta fake out this river Zora. I walked right into that. And, ooh, that was close. And so now we can plant that Gasha seed we found in the hero's cave here. Worth keeping in mind, Gasha soil spots do have various tiers in which the higher the tier of Gasha soil, the better the rewards you'll get from planting a seed there. This patch of soil is a common one, so you'll get basically just the lower stuff here. Yeah, okay. In Zelda 1, you see river Zoras actually replenish their health when they duck underwater and come back up, so you gotta hit them twice before they come back underwater, or deal a full heart's worth of damage before they submerge, or you'll have to do full heart damage over again when they come back up. But apparently that is not so in the Oracle games, and I didn't actually realize that. You just gotta deal a full heart's worth of damage total, and that's it. Anyway, so that's a common soil spot. The one in front of the mayor's house is also a common spot. We'll be finding some other rarity tiers eventually, but for now, let's head on. Here's these bushes that we fell on one side of before, then wound up on the other side. Now we can just cross here freely. And over here is where we found Din and her dancing troupe. Hope they're all okay. Immediately south, well, we're not crossing that pit anytime soon. We're gonna need to find a way to get over it. To the north, yes, there is quite a bit to explore despite this being so early in the game. Into this tree house, we'll find a bunch of Cuckoos and this little lady. My dad Talon went to climb Mount Cuckoo, so I had to care for our hens. There's so much I don't know. Yep, that's Malin, I guess the counterpart to the one from Oracle of Sea... from Ocarina of Time, excuse me. And so the Cuckoos are more or less the same as they are in most Zelda games, the devils they are. You hit them too many times, it takes some time. But if you're masochistic enough to do it, they all start flying in, and they can and will hurt you and kill you. Let's get out of here. And so, with all of that explored, all of North Horon we can explore for now. Ooh, 5 rupees, gotta pick that up. Now we need to head due west of here. Cut these bushes, let's use the spin attack to do so. As I said, hold B, wait for it to charge, and release it. You can hit across. I just can't do exposition to save my life today. Hold it until it starts glowing, release it, and not only will you cover every side of you, including that elusive southeast side, you will hit for double damage your sword slash would do. And so now, here's that gnarled root. Here's a keyhole, wouldn't you know it? Here's the key. And the tree rises, revealing, wouldn't you know it, an entrance. And so, I believe, I think this is as good a place to stop for now as any. Next time when Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons, we'll enter our first full dungeon. See you guys then, yeah?